Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Down at the Dome. This is an exciting week for us here. We are currently hosting the Namibia rugby team, and I have invited a very special guest to join me today, Allister, the head coach of the Namibia rugby senior team. Welcome, Allister. Thank you for joining me.
No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for having me on your program. It's called Down at the Dome.
Down at the Dome.
Fantastic. No,
Yes. Are you enjoying soccer?
We've been enjoying the Dome. It's not my first time here.
Okay.
I've been here at the beginning of, I think, mid-Feb or early March, and we came down to speak to the local clubs around there, and then I got introduced to Farners. I don't know why I didn't meet you the first time. You were around, obviously, very busy as always, but I met Farners and we had a look at the facility, and you know, with World Cup in mind, I thought to myself, this is the ideal place. And I didn't even see the hotel yet, you know, the rooms and that, but it's been fantastic, and you guys really did a great job in hosting us and
Thank you so much.
No, they've been really enjoying the couple of days.
Yes, thank you so much. Before we get into rugby, let's first get to know Allister.
Man, that is, a lot of people think I'm from Cape Town, you know?
Yeah.
But I was actually born in Grahamstown.
Oh, really?
It's a small little town. It's an hour's drive from Port Elizabeth. That's where I grew up, you know. Obviously, mum and dad also played sport. Father was like Sarol, a rugby player, you know, and then he didn't play at the level of Sarol, but your dad, but he was also well known in the Eastern Cape as a rugby guy, obviously in the old dispensation. And then my mum was, you know, they're both school teachers, and I've got two brothers and one sister, so we're four, and everyone is a teacher.
Wow.
All of us became teachers,
But at that time it was you either become a teacher or you become a nurse.
A nurse or social worker, you know. So that's where we went to, either to a teachers training college or UWC, you know, do that. 100%, not a lot of options. But it's funny enough, because you belong to some church as you grew up, like, you know, I'm a congregational.
Oh really?
You know,
I am too. I was born into it.
You know, that was definitely the way we would have gone. Teacher, social worker, nurse, something that will help the community. I think that was the logic of the parents. You got to put back into the community. And schooling in Grahamstown, and then I did my teachers training course in Port Elizabeth. That's how I got to be in the 80s, 1981, that's right, I'm not 100% sure. But and I trained as a teacher there, and that's where my rugby career actually started also, you know. After school, I did represent Eastern Province School, but then in the old dispensation, before Rugby Unity, also played for Saru, and then in the Unified Eastern Province, that's after 92. Played a bit of Currie Cup rugby, and I represented the junior box as well. And that was beyond my age, or my sort of good age as a player. That was past 32 years old, and then I had to think about the future, you know. Yeah, so I stopped playing basically when I was 34. In 1996, 97, I stopped playing rugby altogether.
Okay, and then you started. Did you immediately go over into coaching, or was that something that grew later?
No, it was quite a natural progression for me, but because being a teacher, you always like teach people, you know. And I remember after I stopped playing in 1996 season, 97, the head coach of Eastern Province was a guy called Coetzee. He was also, I think he was an interim coach then, but also very involved with the then UPE, University of Port Elizabeth, then it's now the Nelson Mandela Metropolitan University. Coetzee asked me to become the team manager, and after 3 months as a team manager, he asked me to be an assistant coach to the provincial team. So when I stopped playing provincial rugby, I was always a player coach at my club.
Okay.
PE Harlequins, I was always a player coach. And I suppose, because I played representative for EP, you bring the knowledge back and you impart the knowledge with the club boys, and I think that is where the teaching background, the love sort of blossomed as getting a coaching role as a player, and then also, man, I haven't even coached a full season at club level. Then I was a provincial backline coach with Coetzee at Eastern Province.
It's quite an acceleration.
Man, I must say, I had to swim, and the good thing about it is, in coaching of sport, and people first talk about the technical side of things, and I started off by building relationships with players. Just sitting down with a player and talk about, man, not close to rugby stuff.
Exactly.
About what's your love outside sport? What do you do? Okay, what's your dad doing? What's your mom type of thing? Just getting to know the player, and then afterwards the rugby stuff will come in, and it's so much easier because you're building a bit of trust. You're building a bit of I just get to know you better, and then it becomes easier to work with players and to coach players. So that's how it all started. I mean, with again the teaching background helped me quite a lot, administratively, with organizing, planning a session, and those days, our coaches just rock up there after work, they're late, and come on boys, they're 2 laps around the field, there you go, So I knew we had to do a bit of, you just go out there and do some prep.
Yes.
You understand, like we do lessons with children at school, we do some prep. So with the rugby too, I had this idea of do some prep. Okay, this is what I'm going to do the first 10 minutes, that's what I'm going to do the next. Type of thing, So there was a bit of structure to the coaching, and I could see the players. They took to it, and they loved it, and they enjoyed it, And you get their feedback, and some of them actually taught me quite a lot of things, and I just facilitated at some stages, And that's how I've gone through the whole coaching thing.
Okay, so it sounds like your education, your teaching qualifications, it contributed a lot to the way that you coach, your coaching philosophy, how you approach it.
100%, and with that, obviously you do study it as a teacher, how to convey a message. I think that's the most important thing. You can have 20 very valid things, but there are 3 or 2 take-home messages, and I always have to make sure, sifting through all what are the important things here, and those are the messages that I try to drive home from as a young coach, and it seemed to have worked.
So does it matter that you have you get a coach that has all of these accolades or qualifications, or would you rather take someone who also has that life experience that can apply it more practically? Where do you find the balance in that?
Yes, in sport, normally what I picked up, you have a guy that's really technically good, but he hasn't played the game at a very high level.
Yes.
Or you've got a guy that is maybe not technically very good, but he's played at a higher level, and because of his experiences as a player, and that is what players relate to. Sometimes they're not really interested in that lots of technical stuff, but it's how you get a message across and share your life experiences, your rugby experiences with them. That's why they say not all good rugby players make good coaches, but also if you haven't played at a certain level, then there's always, you'll see those kind of guys really try so hard to get not the credit, but to get the belief in them as coaches. Whereas a guy who's played at a high level and has been part of the game, they don't have to.
Just the fact that they've
been there and the trust is there. So that's the fine line. And I always advise coaches, doesn't matter where you coach, doesn't matter what age group you coach, it's good to listen to players, to understand where they come from, to build a good relationship first and foremost, but also then to prepare well. Because nowadays we competing against technology and all the PlayStation games and all on the phone. If kids don't enjoy what they're doing, it doesn't make sense to them. They'd rather go sit at home and do,
that's for sure.
Yeah, so that's why preparation is everything. They come there, you have to improve them. They must feel that they are improving as athletes, all their learning stuff is.
Okay, so relationship building is obviously also an important factor to you as I listen to you. So does that relate into your personal life as well?
Absolutely, very, very important, and I think that is what we're on this earth for. It is making sure that how could I be of benefit to my team, to the society, and even within the Namibian culture, service is one of our values. To be of service of the team, to the community, to your country.
Yes.
So that's team first, and it's got to be above my own ambition. I put my team first. I mean, it's in dienst van my span.
Yeah.
So that is a massive thing for me, and you can't do that without understanding how you see things. I've got to be in a team of 30 players, with different personalities, and I'm going to make sure that we all our arrows point in the same direction. So what will drive that, and how will we get it right? That's a team culture with a good value system. So you've got to create that team environment that will make sure different personalities, different backgrounds, different religions, whatever, but once they put on the Namibian shirt, we've got one common denominator, and we stick to our value system.
Yes. I want to continue talking about your rugby career.
Okay.
No, there's so many questions I have. But firstly, I also know the importance of a support structure from family, friends. Tell us a bit about your family life.
Unbelievable. I've been married this year for 33 years.
Wow.
Yeah, my wife is, she's in Cape Town. She's with, I've got 2 daughters. Both are married. And I'm a grandpa. I've got 2 grandchildren, a boy and a girl. Right? But you know what? Up until today, whenever there's a schedule out program, she would have it.
Yes.
She knows when I'm off and when I'm busy.
Yes.
So that's been, again, a relationship, an understanding. So I was so lucky that while I was dating Diane, I met her at college, obviously. I always took her to rugby games and events. She was always there. If it's an after party, whatever, she was there, and she understands the rugby environment completely. She's a wife that if it's in the players' box where all the wives were sitting, she wasn't interested in the chit chat at the back and the food that's on, the drinks and that. No, she will watch a game. Yeah, she will watch a game. She watches the players, and she would talk to me after. But I'm impressed with this guy, and this guy maybe
she's the analyst.
In a way, selector as well, But we could talk, right? Yeah. That's they 7 sisters, and their dad was also a rugby player.
Okay.
Obviously, he didn't have boys, and you could see with 7 sisters, he tried very hard, but no boys. So he would take them to all the rugby games. Most of them would always go and watch rugby, Yes. So I suppose that's where love for the sport was also sort of started. And but we're good friends, really good friends. My daughters, they also have they love the game. When I was with the Stormers for 8 years as a coach, they haven't missed the Stormers or Western Province game, but they're not married to rugby players.
So it's sort of dying with you. It's phasing out with you.
My dear,
or maybe they'll have sons.
Hopefully like that, but it was always going to be That's why I'm happy with the 2 daughters, no boys, because they would always be under pressure.
Yes.
Are you going to be good?
Yes.
But your dad is involved in rugby, and look at his, sons. The one is playing this or whatever. So I'm happy, really relaxed with that, and happy with my 2 grandchildren, lovely kids. I just get to see them. Not too often, but somehow when I get home, we spend quality time together. Yeah.
And I'm sure then you completely switch off the cell phone, no communication with work.
100%. I'll do it when I have a bit of a gap, then I'll switch on again. But when I'm at home, I'm at home and just, spend some time. My wife is commuting at the moment, so she'll come and stays for 3 weeks. She goes back to Cape Town again. They have a little nursery school together with the 2 daughters in Cape Town. They run that. So she's also quite busy, and the kids are normally jealous. They don't want to give mum off because she's a worker at the nursery school as well. You just can't run away.
She must deserve a salary.
Exactly. To run away to Windhoek in Namibia, you got to do your job. But we've been. I think what has happened in my rugby career is that she's also a teacher. She supported my career. She supported my career, and she knew that she's in for the long haul. She knows, that it's going to be a lot of sacrifice going away, having to look after the kids. To be honest, that was a case, between 2012, 2016. I was the best dad ever because my kids don't see me every day. But when I get home,
you bring a lot of gifts.
Man, then you see, you're not like dad, Mom, we getting shouted at. It's not nice. I was like the best dad, and my wife used to hate that. Now you're the best dad. But you're not here every day. When I've got to do the struggles, taking them to school, dropping them at the sports days and things like that. I'm the runaround mom and the taxi mom and all the words. And I said nothing. The kids just say I'm here. And I come back. But that's what life is give and take, and wherever I can, do the same for her, I'd support her in that as well. But it's been tough, and we always could adapt well. Never got used to it, but we adapted well to situations.
So you've coached quite a few big name teams in your career. Does it make a difference from team to team, or is coaching those big teams, is it the same experience that you have every time?
No, there is a massive difference. You as a coach, obviously, it's not about winning at all costs. You look to improve players. You look to build character, and obviously you want to get results.
Yes.
Because nowadays winning means everything. Some people go, it's the scoreboard, and that's actually a sad thing about school sports nowadays. I'm a big believer that we shouldn't have scoreboards at school. Because that's where the parents are looking at.
Yes.
Who's winning here, and you can see how they actually put pressure on the kids.
Yes.
Just to win and be winners, and it's to fail. It's more learning when you fail or when you don't win. I wouldn't say fail, but when you don't get it right. If you just keep winning you learn nothing. You become arrogant and you become sort of self-righteous. It's just got to go your way. And I see how kids grow up. But coaching at a provincial level in a professional environment, yes, it is a high pressure thing because there's a lot of money involved. You understand? And at Western Province, I started in EP 2001 to 2003. I was the head coach of Eastern Province. First let me get it right now, when Collie Brand took over as assistant coach, I think for 2-3 years under Nelly Smith, and then I, 2001, became the head coach of EP. After that, Jake White appointed me as his assistant coach with the Springboks from 2004 to 2007.
Yes.
And that was an amazing journey as well. part of a World Cup winning team
Yes.
in France. And after France, after that the stint with Box, Rassi appointed me as Stormers assistant coach in Super Rugby. And then in 2010, I took over Stormers and Western Province, and I coached there until 2016. Amazing time in Cape Town. I mean, I'm still in Cape Town.
Yes.
And I'm probably one of the longest serving coaches in Cape Town,
Yes.
because it's never easy to coach in Cape Town.
And one of the most successful.
I'm sure to do, but yeah, it was really a wonderful experience as a guy from the Eastern Cape, going to Cape Town and stay so long, because I was called an incomer, at one
Yes.
stage. The people, if you haven't been to Stellenbosch or you don't haven't played for one of the top clubs in Cape Town, they see you as
Yes.
we know rugby. Where do you come from? The Eastern Cape. But I survived all that, and it was an amazing time. And I worked with quite amazing people too. And I remember players like Scott Berger, Jean de Villiers. Eventually, Brian Abena also came to
Yes.
join the Stormers. It was just an awesome time. I was from 2010 to 2016. We were involved in 5 Currie Cup finals. We won 2 Currie Cups. The first one we won against the Sharks in Durban in 2012. I know the Currie Cup final, that was one of my most disappointing seasons. We won all the games in the Currie Cup and we lost in the final to the Sharks at Newlands, But then we won it again in 2014. So we won it 2012 and 2014.
Yeah.
Lost it down 2013, 2010 we were there, we lost it. So yeah, it was playing in semi-finals with the Super Rugby team, with the Stormers against the Crusaders. We lost twice, but we've always been there,
Yeah.
And amazing time in Cape Town, to be honest. And I think that's where you always grow with quality players, world-class players. Like I said, Scoutberg,
Yes.
Jean de Villiers, and
Yeah.
those guys.
How do you, because a player say, let's take Jean de Villiers, his name precedes him already.
Yeah.
So how do you work with a player like that to still keep him grounded and know that at the end of the day you still have authority over him, although the entire country sits at his feet
And puts him
type
on a
of thing.
pedestal.
How do you work with a player like that?
Yeah, and especially in a rugby-made sort of environment like the Cape, the Western Cape is a fantastic crowd. I remember those days we had 40,000 average coming to Newlands watching the Stormers play. Jean de Villiers, Scoutberger, they're local heroes, but a good question, how do you keep them grounded? I think one thing is honesty. They understood that when your value systems, that's what drives a player. That gives us direction. That is our compass. And I always refer to that. Geez, boys, let's make sure that it's rugby that makes you. What about the rugby and the values? Humility. You guys are. So don't think you're now an actor.
Yes.
Or you there for the marketing and your billboards and your poster boys.
Yeah.
You become poster boys and things because of the rugby. So let's make sure that the rugby and the environment stays healthy, and that is the main thing. Make sure that you don't forget that. Make sure that the culture is still the same. Not all of a sudden now you're too big, you can't do this and you can't do that. So like I said, the first thing, the relationships, I could speak openly to them. I could speak. There was one thing that I learned from, I don't know if it was Eddie Jones or whoever, I can't remember who the guy was, but he says when a player earns more than a coach, it changes, financially. It already puts that player in another bracket, and they feel. So I was open with those things, Doesn't matter how much you earn. That's not going to impress me.
Yeah.
So humility is one big thing, and obviously you as a person, you are the face of the team, and the players actually take it from the coach, you know. So
Yeah.
if you're an arrogant guy and
Exactly.
they will be
Yeah.
the same, you know. So it's really about your mentality and attitude, and you've got to lead as a coach, you know.
Yeah.
But fortunately enough, those guys were all brilliant characters.
Okay. So as we end off, I really want to know what is it that keeps Allister, what anchors Allister to life?
Yes, my dear, I must say, probably being a people's person and, you know, and a Christian
Yes.
drives me to be, not to, it's not about going to church every day, but I church when I mix with people. And, you know, try and uphold those principles as well. And my competitiveness. You know, so I hate losing, but when I lose, I learn.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not really complete failure. So as long as I keep learning, and I think those were the words of the late Nelson Mandela: "You never fail. You either learn or improve." You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but you know, as a Christian, also, you know, believing and not telling everyone on the stage it's just my normal day-to-day sort of relationship building with people and going
Yes.
about living in the community and just being an example, you know, to my kids,
Yeah.
to my grandkids, you know.
Yeah.
Hopefully they will follow in your footsteps. I mean,
Yeah.
you would like to leave a legacy, and for me to leave a legacy in Namibia, to one day when I'm not here, I don't want people to talk about, yeah, we've won so many games and lost so many games. I'd rather want a guy saying, yes, so this is one thing that I learned from the coach: respect is everything, you know, and I've got to respect my mom and my people, you know.
Yeah.
Then I've got to care for someone, or I've got to commit, you know.
Yes.
Then I've left something.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to continue, but we're gonna end off here. Allister, thank you so much
Pleasure.
for joining me. This was a very wisdom-filled podcast today. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me. It's really been great in Swapo. You know, it's also one of the reasons why we're here is to make sure that people see the national team and feel the
Yes.
national team, you know.
Yes.
And it helps our players
Yes.
to build national pride also in
Yes.
playing for, you know, the
Yes.
people of Namibia.
Yeah.
Great to be on your show. Thanks to me.
Thanks, Allister. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time.